So it looks like Dortmund, aka Child Labor FC, are about to secure the signing of another Bellingham brother, because it looks like Jobe is on his way to Germany, and they've beaten a few other clubs in the Bundesliga to get his signature. Now, I need you guys to get in the comment section, and if you've actually watched him play, let me know, how good is he, right? Are we only talking about him because of who his brother is, or has his performances at Sunderland earned him the hype that I'm starting to see him get on social media? Because I've seen some clips and he looks like a decent player, but at the same time, I've not sat down and watched a 90-minute match where I can fully assess him. But it looks like he is going to be getting a big move this summer. And with Sunderland going back up to the Premier League, I think it does make sense for him to leave, because they're going to be heading right back down, okay? I don't expect Sunderland to do a damn thing in the Prem next season. And if a team like Dortmund wants you, and we know the record that they have when it comes to developing talent and then selling them on to big clubs, it seems like it makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider that his brother was there only a few seasons ago before getting that big money move to Real Madrid. So get in the comment section, let me know what you think about him going to Dortmund, and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. Let's get it. So according to Tier 1 reporter Florian Plettenberg, he's saying that Jobe has decided to join Borussia Dortmund. Decision 100% made and confirmed. Understand that Bellingham has also informed Frankfurt of his decision. Negotiations with Sunderland are set to begin shortly. His price evaluation is at 30 million euros. Now, I've seen this guy get linked to a lot of big clubs over the year. He's been linked with the move to Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham, Crystal Palace. They even linked him with a move to Real Madrid. But once I saw Dortmund's name get thrown into the mix, I always figured that this would be the club that he would end up at. Now, there were a lot of interest from teams in the Bundesliga, and Frankfurt seemed like the closest competition that Dortmund had to sign him, and both of these teams are very attractive at the moment because they both offer Champions League football next season. But the reason that I thought Dortmund had the advantage was because they already have a great relationship with his family. Look at what they did for Jude. They signed him when he was like 16 from Birmingham. They brought him to the Bundesliga, and he developed into one of the best midfielders in the world, and then got a huge move to Real Madrid. And you've seen what he's done since he signed for us in La Liga. He's been phenomenal. And I think Jude would have also convinced his brother that this is the place for him to go. And when you look at the club that he's playing for now, Sunderland, he's recently just helped them get promoted to the Premier League. But why would he want to stay? Sunderland are going to get slapped for 38 weeks next season. He might as well make that move to the Bundesliga and go to a club that have a great track record of developing young players. Now, I don't really rate Dortmund nowadays because they're not trying to win trophies. They're not trying to compete. All that Dortmund care about is finishing in the top 4 to get the Champions League. And they only care about finding young players with high potential, buying them for a cheaper price, developing them, and then selling for high profit. I tell you guys all the time, Dortmund are the equivalent of human traffickers. But they are the best in the business at developing talent. So if you're a young player, and if you want to play on a higher stage, if you want to be playing at a club that's going to give you minutes in the UCL, that's going to prioritize your development, then Dortmund is the perfect place for you to go to. And now we're going to really see what this guy is made of, right? We're going to finally get a chance to find out if we're only talking about him because of his brother or because he's actually a baller. And at Dortmund, even though people don't rate the Bundesliga, that league produces a lot of talent. Now, seeing him next season in the UCL is going to be really interesting, right? Hopefully, we get a Real Madrid-Dortmund matchup in the group or knockout stages. I would like to see that. It could be pretty interesting. But I haven't gotten a chance to really watch this guy. Now, looking at his transfer market page, they're saying that his value is around 22 million euros. In 40 games with Sunderland, he scored 4 goals and he's gotten 3 assists in the championship. Positionally, he plays as an 8, but can also run in the 10 or line up as a DM. So it's a very similar profile to his brother, because Jude is somebody that can also play in the midfield kind of anywhere that you need him to, right? Jude is one of the best all-around midfielders in the world. And when I've seen videos and compilations of Jobe, it does look like he's very good on the ball. Looks like he can strike it well. He can link play. He also has good work rate as well from what I've seen. But again, I don't know that much about him. Now, the reports continue to say that all interested clubs were aware of the 40 million euro release clause in the Jobe contract. However, Dortmund are confident that they can sign him for around 30 million, as this is believed to have been promised to the player. No negotiation/agreements with Sunderland yet. Bellingham has given his yes to Dortmund. So, look, he's going to end up going there, right? I can't see him ending up anywhere else. He's going to end up leaving Sunderland. He's going to be playing in the Bundesliga, and he's also going to be playing on Champions League nights. And again, Dortmund, they're known for developing a lot of talent, and they are going to prioritize his development. Now, with his release clause being around 40 million, right? Obviously, Dortmund are not a club that just go out there and drop big money on these players, right? Like, that's kind of against their club motto. They don't really want to pay super high fees, because if they go out there and spend 40 million on Jobe, that would be one of their most expensive signings in their club's history, right? And I mean, we've seen them take players on loan, and then they've literally refused the buy option because it's way too high. But if they do believe that Jobe can develop like his brother did at the club, then yeah, he possibly will be getting a big transfer. And again, I think Jude definitely played a part in him picking this club. But at the same time, just looking at it from a little bit of a negative side, I think there's going to be a lot of high expectations on him at Dortmund because of what his brother did. And he's already going to have a very hard time of shaking the label of just being Jude's little brother. Because when Jude is at Real Madrid playing at a world-class level, it's going to be really hard for you to get away from his shadow. And now with you going to Dortmund, right, the same club that he was a world-class player at, people are going to expect you to play at a similar kind of level. And that might cause pressure on you that you're not going to be able to live up to. So, I mean, we'll see how this ends up going. Again, if you're a young talent, Dortmund is the ideal club for you to end up at. Frankfurt, the other club that were involved in this race, they're also a good club to go to, right? They finished in a Champions League spot, and he would have probably been able to start more games at Frankfurt right away than he would have at Dortmund, where they do have a little bit more talent, in my opinion. But Frankfurt, look at what they've done with Ekitike, right? He might be getting a big money move this summer. Omar Mamouche got signed by Man City, right? So they have developed talent, right? Frankfurt, they've also finessed Real Madrid in the past with Luka Jovic, those absolute frauds. I almost forgot about that. But look, big teams that are in Germany, they wanted him. So clearly there is a player here, right? I don't think that these teams are just wanting to sign him because of who his brother is. So he's clearly shown something. And it's going to be really interesting to see how he develops. We will be keeping an eye on Jobe. And if I was him, I would want to stay at Dortmund like 2-3 seasons. Then you get a big move to maybe a Premier League team, maybe another team in La Liga. I don't think he should end up at Real Madrid. I know that he was linked to Real Madrid. If I was him, I would not want to sign for the club that my brother's at. If anything, I think Jobe should be looking to go to Barcelona. Create a nice little rivalry, right? This is things that the game is missing. But look, Tell me what you guys think about Jobe possibly going to Dortmund, right? Is it a good move or not? Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications.